In this video, I have a partner success call with Brian and his assistant on how we've generated them over 100 new leads and 17 deals within the last 45 days. We do this with a very simple 3-step funnel consisting of Facebook ads, ISAs, and CRM automations. Watch this video so you can start implementing this today.
He will be having an appointment with a lead on Saturday. He's going to go show him houses, and that leads from you. He has had other leads that he's been speaking with, but not bad leads. They're just still in the process, right?
Still in the process, a few 3, 6, 9 months out type of leads.
Yeah, but they're good leads because at least they answer when we call.
Good. That means Brian's doing his job as well, because we get a lot of leads that sometimes our agent will connect and then they won't answer their next call because the agent didn't do a good enough job of explaining how they're going to be able to help that lead, provide value to that lead. So that's a really good sign. If these cold leads that don't even they didn't even know Brian, if they were complete strangers and they're picking up his calls again, that means Brian's doing his job. So that's really good to hear.
Yep, so they're overall good leads. I told Brian yesterday that I was actually happy with the leads. Awesome. Because we're not just chasing them around and having them tell us they're not interested or that why are you calling sort of lead. They're just kind of on hold still, but they keep answering our follow-up calls and all of that. So they're overall I'm happy with them. I do have a question. So we are working on our expenses for this year, like what's been spent and all of that. Yep. And we wanted to see, I think Brian might have figured it out already because he said he was going to try to call yesterday.
Yeah, we were chatting about me and Brian connected. We've kind of looked at everything for the most part, but did you have anything, any specifics that you wanted you to double check on?
No. He actually told me he was gonna call and ask about that. So I think he probably figured that out already because he was trying to figure out last year's expenses, which I came up with one number, but it was just kind of a double checking standpoint.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Right now, in regards to Facebook ads, all of our clients, cost per lead is going up right now just because it's the holidays. Ever since kind of that Halloween to December is usually slow for real estate in general. As soon as we hit the beginning of the year, it's going to be so crushing again. The first 3 quarters of the year is always the best for real estate. So as soon as we get past the holidays, as soon as we get past New Year, about 2 weeks into the new year, cost per leads are going to start dropping again. ISAs, this month has actually been fine for you guys with the ISAs. Your guys' lead to live transfer rate so far this month is 20%. So really, really good. Month over month, we went up. So in October, our lead to live transfer ratio for you guys was about 12.2%. In November, it was 14.8, and this month so far it's 20. So about an average of 15%. We've generated about 156 leads, narrowed that down to 24 live transfers, and I'm sure you guys have narrowed that down to maybe 5 or 10 leads that are actually in communication with. In total, I know last time we spoke, Brian said that maybe it was 4 to 5 leads he could just count off the top of his head that he was in conversation with. What do you think you guys have right now? Is it still kind of the same? Is it a little bit more than that? How many leads would you guys say that you're in conversation with where you actually think they seriously could turn into a closing in 2025?
So this last 2 weeks since our last call, we've had more live transfers, and Brian has been communicating with those. I kind of just do the follow-up with the ones that he struggles a little bit more to communicate with, or the ones that are still getting pre-approved. But overall, I think most of them are going to be turning into a deal. So out of those 5 and 6, I think maybe 2 more because I think one new lead that came in these last 2 weeks is the one that he's gonna go show houses to on Saturday.
Awesome. That's so good to hear. So about 5 to 6, that should ultimately, as long as the cards fall right, and I know everything, there's a ton of different stuff that can happen in real estate, but it's just good to know that we're putting good opportunity in front of you guys. Obviously, if something happens with one of their families or something happens with them, that's neither one of our faults. But as long as we're putting opportunity in front of you guys and you guys think that we're doing a good job, that's what really matters. So that's good to hear. Yeah, and especially I think the way that you and Brian have things set up is so smart. Where Brian takes the leads that are like more hot and ready, that he's able to actively communicate with, that are serious, and then he has you basically consistently following up and touching the leads that kind of aren't worth his time quite yet because they're kind of far away from the closing table. So that's really, really good strategy you guys have in place, and I think that's one of the reasons why you guys are probably seeing a lot more success than a lot of our other partners. I would say you guys probably are seeing above average success because you guys have such a good system in place. Because with this much volume, like I said, we've sent you guys over 24 live transfers so far. So for Brian to try to keep track of all 24 of those doesn't make sense when maybe only 5 of them are actually ready to do something within the next few months. The other 20 of those are going to be more than 3 months out. So I think the way you guys have it set up is super, super smart. Do you need any feedback kind of from our end in regards to any data, any insights on any of the data, or how you guys are kind of working the leads, or you guys think everything looks good? The cards just kind of need to fall. Like right now, it's just a matter of time before those kind of start moving together into 2025.
Well, I don't really have any questions. I mean, Brian and I spoke yesterday, and we were really quite happy with the lead that came in, that wants to go see the house this weekend. But overall, I think, I mean, it's what we like about it. It's that we don't have to call like all the leads, chasing them. I think it's a lot of help, having the ISAs do their job. Yep. And the live transfers are really good. So that's what we like. We like the notifications. All of that's great. But for my end, I don't have any questions.
That's good to hear. Compared to some other programs, I know I saw some other programs that you guys have worked with in the past. Evolved Agents was one of them. I think maybe HouseJet, or things along those lines. How would you say we compare to those? Has it been a better experience, worse experience? I guess what's the kind of pros and cons from us compared to like the other companies you guys have worked with so far?
That we think is the lead quality, right? Because everyone can get us leads.
Yeah.
We can get ourselves leads as well. Setting up the ads and getting people into our system. But that's not the point, right? You just have to invest so much time in low quality leads. So what we're really happy with is that the leads that we are getting from you, if it's 10, 9 out of 10 are answering their calls, right? Good. Even if they're not immediate, but they're answering.
That's good.
And if they don't answer their call, like each call, at least the call rate is much lower that we have to do, right? Because before we would have to call like 50 times. Like I have a spreadsheet on here where with HouseJet, and it's just amazing that we've called 50 times and no one answers. And then we had 2 leads I called on Monday. One lead said he wasn't even looking to buy in Oklahoma, that he was from Arkansas. So he was like, how did you even get my number? So that's just kind of like the struggling part. And they have ISAs calling as well. They have ISAs calling every day, but they don't get us any lead anywhere, basically. So that's what
I don't like about it. I'm really happy with you guys.
Awesome.
I don't know if Brian agrees.
I agree. See my smile? I agree.
How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm well. How are you, Mason? Sorry for the delay, guys.
No, you're all good. You're all good. Yeah, I'm back in EST time zone, so I don't had to take our call as early, but I had to bump us out a little bit because I had a flight yesterday and just wanted to make sure I'd be able to hop on the call. But how was your meeting? It went all well.
Meeting was good. Actually, it's funny. A guy that says he sees me all over Facebook, a 70-year-old guy that wants to downsize and saw your ad that we've been running.
Wow,
And
nice.
so just really, really good. I will tell you, Mason, that's the first one I've ever got like that.
Like quick and ready, or just like
Yeah, quick and ready, calls me and says, I see you all over Facebook. I've never had that call. And I'm like, okay. And then he referenced your ad that we're running, and it's just like,
nice.
and he goes, you look like you know what you're doing. I said, well, I'm glad I could fool you. Let's try to help you.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, Priscilla was saying, and realistically, I think whatever processes you guys have on the back end has got to be crushing. She was telling me that you guys have a lot of good conversations, and there's a lot of agents I do speak to that we're getting transfers, and they'll even say, yeah, we're getting the transfers, but maybe they're not picking up the second or third or fourth call. And Priscilla said you guys are less so running into that, and I mean that means you're doing a good job. That means you're making a good first impression. Just simple like being able to connect with people, jokes like that, like that's literally the business that you're in. And when Priscilla said that, like, I was like, that's so good, because the difference from someone not picking up your next call is just that first impression. Do they think you can actually provide value to them? And when she said you guys have been able to connect, that shows me that like you are using these leads and you're like actually being able to work them, have a conversation with them and help them.
Yeah, I tell you, I feel guilty, Mason, on like I got one at 8:01 and it didn't come through my phone. And then I saw the text that I missed the call at like 8:20. I go, oh no, I don't miss those. And I'm like, the system's janked. What's going on? And sure enough, I looked at my missed calls, and at 8:01, Ben sent me something like, crap. So I immediately called and said, hey, sorry, I missed the transfer. Can I help you? And et cetera, et cetera. So we like the quality instead of quantity. As Priscilla was venting to you about HouseJet, having to play that game to get our money back on our initial investment. And then even Priscilla, just the other day, we talked and just looked at, hey, why don't we look at upping up our spend with you? And then I think if it's not Marvell Rawls, Priscilla, the other gentleman that I'm going to show properties to Saturday, certainly want to find out more, Mason, on the $75 lifetime leads thing and how that works to pull that trigger here.
Cool.
The first of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, as soon as something falls through and you guys are back in the green, that's the best time to do it. You guys are going to be making decisions from the green kind of at that point, which is the best position to be, because from there it's all logical. I fully understand how it can be in your guys' shoes as the agent, investing money in. You're obviously in real estate, which is such a long-term play. It's not car detailing where you pay for the customer, the advertising, and you can go detail their car tomorrow. It takes a while. So you guys really have to be mentally strong to invest in your businesses. And that's why so many agents don't, and they fail at it, because it's such a long-term game. But when you do get in the green from the invest that you made 3 months ago, 2.5 months ago, whatever it is, you're so more logical with the decisions, and it's so much easier to even like double down and get ahead. So that's great to hear. But yeah, I know I sent those details over to you in an email. I can re-forward it to you if you want to double check it. If you have any questions, just feel free to respond to that email, and we can kind of look over it whenever you guys are ready to pull the trigger. Make sure you guys are the most comfortable. We can do whatever.
Awesome. Anything else we need to do on our side, or maybe feedback on the ads? Something may have missed when you and Priscilla were talking. And again, just try to strengthen the relationship we have with you, because it's certainly, we're pleased. We like it, are enjoying it, and want to continue with it as we scale our business. I have one thing, but I want to ask you, after you answer that question.
Yeah, you're all good. Yeah, me and Priscilla were just kind of looking over everything. If Priscilla is obviously free to email or text us kind of whenever, feedback, questions, if she overviews, more stuff kind of than you. Ever, if you have any questions about the ads, Priscilla, concerns, new strategy, like always feel free to just shoot us over an email. We can kind of collaborate in that regard. From the last 3-4 weeks, it's common. It always happens. Cost per lead is going to spike up a little bit during this time of year, but usually the leads we are getting during this time of year are higher quality anyway, so it kind of evens out. The people that are filling out ads during this time of year are typically more serious because they've just usually got more stuff on their plate. They're traveling, they're trying to be with family. So if someone is typically filling out an ad at this time of year, they tend to be more serious. But yeah, so if you're seeing a little bit of spike in cost per lead, completely fine. If it doesn't dip back down after 2-3 weeks into January, we'll kind of reevaluate, relook into it. From the top of the funnel, live transfers have been solid. In October, our lead to live transfer rate was about 12.2%. November, 14.8%. This month so far, 20%. So that's increasing as well. That's just going to happen by default as we keep getting leads in the pipeline. We're looking at about, on average, 52 leads a month. So that's the domino effect you kind of get. From month 1, we only have 52 leads to work with. Month 2, it's 100. Month 3, it's 150. So that domino effect, it's pretty typical to see that growth there. Other than that, nothing, kind of all of it looks good. But yeah, to answer your question, if you guys ever want to collaborate, look at stuff, this call we have every 2 weeks isn't the only call we can have. If we need to throw a call on the calendar to just run over some stuff, we're always able to do so. Just got to communicate and work it out.
One of the challenges we're having, and it's more of me, I would say, than Priscilla, is, so we're still doing the agency CRM. And if I'm correct, Priscilla, Mason's go high level was a lot cleaner than the other two ones that we have seen, correct? Am I correct in that?
Yeah.
And Priscilla has done a painstaking job of trying to keep me on task with all the juggles and different listings and sales and closings, etc. going, and has put together kind of a spreadsheet. We kind of have a team spreadsheet on what she needs to do every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, what my consistent calls are. And we're trying to, and then she's even gone to the extent of putting calls I need to make on my calendar, and my attention deficit disorder challenges are making it difficult for me to go, do I go here? Do I go here? Do I go here? And kind of want to talk through some advice with you on, do we pay for high level with you? Do we not? What? I don't want to pay for another CRM. I don't pay for the agency one, but certainly there's challenges that don't really help. The agency still has their growing pains for the custom CRM they have. So almost curious if we, what do we shift to yours to make it easier for us? And again, don't want to spend anything if I don't have to, but walk us through that, please. Yeah,
good question. So the CRM is just with us. So you guys are working with us. You guys have access to the CRM, even after the fact. Even if it's like, hey, no bad blood, it's been a while, whatever it is. If for some hypothetical reason we part ways, you guys still keep the CRM. It's no extra cost to us. The plan we have with high level is we get unlimited accounts. So it doesn't matter if we have 2 accounts or we have 2,000, it's the same price for us. So you just get that account. It's no extra charge monthly, no CRM fee or anything like that. You guys don't have full access to it right now, but that can be changed with a click of a few buttons and give you guys full access as if you bought the CRM yourself. But yeah, if you guys wanted to migrate over it, it's by far one of the most powerful CRMs I've been in. It's not, no CRM's user friendly, but it is put together. It's clean. Other than HubSpot, I would say it's probably one of the most powerful CRMs. HubSpot is a really, really, really good CRM, but it is pretty pricey. High level, I would say, is probably the second best option for many of the CRMs I've been in. But to kind of answer your question, it's no extra charge if you migrate over to our CRM or anything like that. Ideally, if you want to move all your data over, we would just create you maybe a second account. So you'd have a CRM with us for all of our leads and stuff, and then you could have your own CRM with all your entire business that you have maybe on the agency or something. So you can kind of keep them organized, and it would just look something like this. If I can show your screen here, it'll all be in the same spot. So you can see here all these accounts. So basically what would happen is if I gave you guys two, they would just both be right here. So you'd come click up in this location spot, and it could just be Brian with Amass Estate, and it could be Brian with the agency or whatever. Then that could be your main hub spot where you have absolutely everything. And then this account could just be the spot where you have our stuff. There's also a ton of different ways to organize. So if I come here, let's just go to this one, for example. If we come to the contacts page, there's plenty of ways to also organize leads. So for this account, for people that outreach for us, we have like a cold call leads section where these are just cold call leads. You can see 1,400 in here, and we have cold email leads. There's only 500 in here, so you can organize leads too. So I think I know you guys have had like our leads or HubSpot leads or other leads. You'd be able to kind of organize them all in a smart list. There's a bunch of cool stuff on here. Automations. So for example, let's just give an example of one here. We'll just go into like strategy, system explanation books. So this is just if a call's booked or something. It sees what calendar it came from, assigns it to me, sends out a notification to me. So you can do like hands-off automations, adds it to a Google Sheet here. This step adds to a Google Sheet. This is just a bunch of nerdy stuff like hands-off automation stuff, but then it's going to automatically send the lead a text, auto confirm your appointment's been booked, stuff along those lines. So there's some cool automations. It has websites in here. So our website's hosted from here. QR codes, if you want to do any mailers. Reporting, you'd be able to see how your advertisements are doing here. So if you're doing any Google, Facebook, if Priscilla's calling out of here, you'll be able to see all of her call stats and stuff. So if we select, let's say Monday to Friday here, you can see anyone on this account so far has made 1,200 calls this week. You can see their names, their data, all call recordings here. It's very powerful. Conversations tab, so all of your conversations in one spot here. Emails, text.
Mason, when you mentioned that giving us access to this wouldn't give us the full power of it, but with a few clicks of the button, you could do that.
Yeah, so if I go to yours.
And I would say that, and Priscilla, correct me if I'm wrong, one of the challenges we face at the current time and certainly are open to growth is, like I said, when we've seen high level with different people, it's almost so robust. There's so much we don't really need, right?
Right, yeah, exactly.
And if there was this, and again, when we saw what you had us set up for, is like, oh my gosh, this is so much cleaner, so much easier. Again, as we were trying to migrate Bold Trail to high level, then we came to the agency, and the agency had its own CRM. It's like, okay. And then as we dove into the agency, there's challenges with that. So making a point of, hey, I'm not so sure. Are we able to do all of what you just showed us with our current access to high level?
Yeah, so no. So if we come here, I have you and Priscilla added as staff onto your account here. So I basically have like admin overview, obviously, and you guys are basically like users. But if I come in here, let's say to you, for example, I can come to roles and permissions. And we can see here, for example, you don't have like access to account settings, account tools, automations, blogs, calendars, certificates, communities, conversations, funnels, medias, memberships, payment, WordPress, like websites and stuff. So if there's anything where you're like, hey, we don't need all of the access to this, for example, the dashboard, you guys have access to view Facebook ads and manage reporting. So if you're like, we don't need let's just say agent reporting, but we'd like phone calls. There's different things that we can kind of give access to. And basically, if we toggle you onto an admin here, you'd be able to see, virtually more than a user could. So even if it's like Brian and Priscilla, you two have admin, and then I don't know if you guys have any other assistants or anyone else a part of the team could have user access, and you can do a bunch of cool stuff where, you get assigned the leads, Brian, that are closer to the closing table or whatever, and Priscilla can get assigned the leads that are 45, 60 days out. There's a bunch of crazy cool stuff that you can do in here. Anything that you're wondering, can I do it in there? It's probably like a yes.
Awesome. Well, we'd like to move forward with that if it doesn't cost us anything. And again, appreciate the partnership. Look forward to being your guinea pig on stuff as well, and changing different stuff and whatever we can do to help, because we're extremely pleased. And again, like I said, Priscilla and I talked before you even got yesterday about possibly increasing our ad spend after the holiday and just ramping up with you. And because what your algorithms are doing and providing are certainly above and beyond anything we've experienced. And we certainly feel like we've been through the gamut of them, right, Priscilla?
Yes.
Good. Yeah, I saw when I first got access to your ad account, you guys have definitely done your fair share of spending and testing, and I saw there was a bunch of stuff in there. So yeah, there's a million different ways to make $1 million. This is just one of the ways we do it. We know we have plenty and millions of room to grow as well. So if we ever launch something new, or I need your input on anything, Brian, I won't feel like you'll be bashing on us because we don't have it all figured out if I ask you to help us with something, or that can be a hard to find. So that's good.
And I'll tell you a quick story about Evolved Agents. So I did the video for them because I really like them, like our relationship, and I think we outgrew what they did. They were trying to do an AI, it wasn't ready yet. And again, we don't want the mass anymore, and that's kind of their game. Hey, $4 a lead, and you're going to get a ton, but you're going to get a lot of junk. And what was appealing for us to go back was the AI texting to funnel them out, and it wasn't quite there yet. And then we had problems with our dialer with them, and I still continue to get they give people looking at their program my contact, and hey, I saw your video, you're a realtor, instead of hearing some guy we don't know about. And the other day a guy caught me and we had a pretty good conversation, and he started talking about Google ads and things like this, and I guess the Evolved was switching to that. And so here I am telling how great of an experience I had. He didn't really need to know that we aren't doing them anymore, but hey, if you want a ton of leads and you want to sift through 100 a day, and great, it's a great source for you without giving him those details. And he goes, well, if you're such a good fan of the owner and you and the owner are so close and everything, why don't you know anything about them doing the Google ads? And I went, luckily we were on a video, but I went like this. I have no way to say anything about that. And I think I said, hey, we've been so busy, I've kind of turned off our ads for a little bit, but I'll certainly call them after that. And we're here to partner with somebody. We're here to, we just appreciate you, Mason. It's been a great relationship, and I appreciate you.
Yeah, you guys have been great too. It's very seamless. And obviously that's part of us actually doing what we said. Obviously, if we weren't, maybe you guys would be a little bit more flustered and have more questions and be more honest, but never feel like you guys are being annoying or on top of us. All we ask for the most part is just as much feedback as possible. These calls are obviously great. We do them bi-weekly for a reason. We used to do them monthly, just doesn't work as good. We don't get as much feedback. Lower success rates is when we do them bi-weekly, and at some point in the future, maybe even weekly if it makes enough sense. But yeah, it's been great with you guys as well. Anything we can do, just feel free to let us know. I'll have the team look in, and I'll go in and give you guys access to the CRM. If you ever have any other people that you need added to that, and you can basically shoot over bullet points like, hey, they basically just need access to this, completely are able to do that. There is a few things in the CRM that you would have to register if you want to do certain things. So we have one account where we do all of our communications to kind of get around it. They've really cracked down on texting and calling nowadays. So you kind of have to go in and verify like your business, your EIN and stuff along those lines, or else text messages won't go through. So there's just simple stuff like that that might be a little bit difficult that guys might have questions on. But anything, their support is amazing. So they have support articles on absolutely everything. You can hop on Zoom calls with them pretty much, I think, 24/7. And yeah, so it's a good CRM.
So one thing that we do want to chat about, and Priscilla, you can gather as well. So we were doing Ring Central, and Ring Central got to a point with that EIN and approval for text that they were asking for us to have the agency change their terms and conditions on their website. And it's like, you got to be kidding. There's no freaking way my little peanut's going to be able to get the agency to do anything. And so we canceled Ring Central, and now Priscilla just has a Google number because of that. And again, I don't really need to track her. She's been with me long enough. But if there's a way to where she can text through that, unless you don't need to, Priscilla, the way you're doing it now works great. But that may be something that maybe in 2 weeks we make a call and talk through that as well.
Yeah, you're good. It's nothing where the agency would have to change their terms and conditions. It's more so for you personally. It basically just says, hey, tell us how you're going to use text, because after Papa John's had that huge lawsuit where they were just like texting people they didn't have numbers of, I think it was like like $19 billion lawsuit. Yeah. So they were just completely texting people that never opted in, probably never even bought from Papa John's. Some people I didn't even hear from them before, and they're sending out text deals and stuff. So after kind of that happened, I don't know if that was exactly why, but around that time, they just started cracking down where it's like, hey, you have to submit exactly your industry, what you're going to be saying, how they opted in. So for us, they're obviously opting in through Facebook to be reached out to. What are you going to be saying to them? So it's pretty easy to get accepted. And then from there, they just have a rule where you kind of got to ramp up. First, you can only send 100 texts a day, then it goes up to like 5, then 1,000. But you shouldn't run into any issues that we can't get past, kind of like what you were saying there.
Awesome. Well, Priscilla and I will chat after this, and we'll probably send you a quick email. And I would say let's go ahead and get high level access, and we'll start to have the 2 folders like you said. And we'll probably transfer everything over unless she gives me some compelling argument why we shouldn't do that. Appreciate you.
Cool. Awesome. Sounds good. Yeah, I do got to run from you guys here, but if there's anything else, just feel free to let me know.
Merry Christmas. Thank you. Glad to be a partner with you.
Yep. You guys as well. Have a great holiday. Thank you, Brian. Priscilla, thank you so much. See you guys. Let me know if you guys need anything.
All right. Talk to you soon.
So that is the exact Facebook ads funnel that is absolutely crushing it for Brian. If you're an established agent, already averaging over about 12 deals per year, but interested in getting an extra 2 to 4 new deals every single month on a complete pay per deal basis, then click that first link down in the description to book a free call with me or someone from my team. Now, since everything is on a pay per deal basis, we don't work with anyone that books. You do have to qualify, and we also have to be confident that we're actually going to be able to deliver for you, or it's just a lose-lose. But again, it's only pay per deal, so click that first link down below and book a call if you're tired of relying on referrals and inconsistent business. Hopefully, if anything, these free videos are able to help you understand the power in online advertising, automating, delegating, assistance, and turning into a business owner to buy back your time. Hopefully these videos help, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much.